Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can create an extruded part. First, all extrusions or all solid parts comes from a 2D sketch. So you click create 2D sketch here and I choose a plane to do my sketch upon. I will create a rectangle and I will give a dimension to the rectangle. I will make it 50 millimeters wide and 30 millimeters tall. We do that again. 30 millimeters tall. Once I'm done with my sketch, I could click finish sketch and I could extrude. By default, the very first sketch that you create, Inventor would choose the base sketch as the profile that you want to extrude. The first extrusion is always a new solid. It will indicate to you over here. And on this side, the right side, you will choose the extent to which you want to extrude. You can choose to extrude by 20 millimeters or you can choose to extrude by 18 millimeters. You could change the direction of the extrusion to whichever side that you want, or you could extrude it in a symmetrical manner. On each side, it will extrude by 40 millimeters. You could also choose an asymmetric extrusion of distances, but for now we would stick to just one direction. Right, this is the first extruded part that we have created, and on this end you will notice within the browser tree that your sketch has been consumed. It is now residing when you click this plus sign under this extrusion. You can always name your extrusion if you want to, but so that you could understand your drawing intent better or much more conveniently, and I can call this a base. Subsequently, you could add or remove features from this block or this base that you've created, and subsequent features can be created again through sketches. I create a sketch. Let me skip that. I'll create a sketch. When you click create sketch, you can choose any face in which you want to draw on. And I can draw a rectangle here and a circle here. Now notice when I create sketch on a solid, there is a yellow projected line along the edge of the first solid. This was set default on my system, but for most of you, the yellow edge would probably not be there. To get the edge up, the yellow edge up, you could project geometry and you could get that edge up. Okay. I'll click on a circle and I'll click on finish sketch. Now when I click extrude this time, Inventor would not know which is the profile that I want to extrude. If I move my mouse over here, they would extrude out a rectangle with a hole in the center. And if this is not what I want, I can always press escape and I can choose my profile, and this could be the one that I want. By default, Inventor will always select an extrude joint or a solid for you, but if you were to change this to cut, what it will do is that it will cut a circle or a hole for you. When you select this intersect, what it will do is that it would give you a cylinder, which is a subtraction of the base and the circle that you have just drawn. For now, I'll just select a circle. You can choose the depth in which it is cut. Let's say I don't want to cut it right through, and I put 10 millimeters here, and this is a 10 millimeter depth circle. How do I verify that this is 10 millimeters? I could always go to the inspect tab and choose on distance, select the outer face and the inner face, and it will show 10 millimeters over here. Okay. Now notice that in my browser tree I have two features. The first feature being the base and the second feature being the circle. At any point of time I can edit the sketches, could edit the sketch, and I could change the dimension of the circle that I've drawn earlier, and even the position of the circle that I've drawn earlier. Put a dimension to it. Let's say 15 millimeters in diameter, and I'll dimension it to this edge, 15 millimeters. How high should I go? I'll go by 20 millimeters. And what it will do is that it will update that cutout to this. In the event that I decide to choose to cut the circle all the way through, I can actually edit the feature. Move your mouse to the whole feature, right click, and select edit feature. And what will happen is that it will bring you back in history where you were previously adjusting the parameters here, and you could give a very large number of 50 millimeters to cut, to ensure that it's cut all the way through, or you can select the extent to cut through all. Okay, the difference is this. Let's say if I specify a distance of 40 millimeters, and I know that I can cut through this block, and I click OK, and I have a through hole over here. Now if I were to go back to my base and I edit the feature of my base, edit feature, okay, the feature is not the one, I'll edit the sketch, edit sketch. If I edit this thickness to 100, what would happen is that the whole feature now is no longer a through hole, because earlier on my whole feature is only extruded to cut to 40 millimeters. However, in my extent, if I were to choose to cut through all, it would mean that regardless of the thickness of the block that I've drawn earlier, this whole feature would cut through the entire solid, no matter how thick it is. This is all for now you need to know about how to go about creating an extrusion, manipulating the sketch and changing it, manipulating the features and editing it. Through all these edits, you can dynamically change your design and define how you would like your design to be. With this, I end. Thank you very much for your attention.